This letter, do you expect it will make very much difference? Do you think the magazine editors will be listening to you?
Well, I hope they will, because I think many of their readers will welcome this message if they do respond. And instead of having so many pages of quick fix diets, promote body confidence with a celebration of the diversity of beauty, whether that's in body shapes, sizes, skin colours or ages. I think that's something many people would like to see on the pages of magazines, and I do hope they will listen.
But a message about healthier eating and exercise and information about how to do it, it's a very valuable thing, isn't it? Particularly for people at this time of year. Everybody's wanting to lose a little bit of weight. It would be good for them to be eating a better diet and taking a bit more exercise.
Absolutely, healthy eating and taking exercise is very welcome, and that should be encouraged. But what we often see are the sort of quick fix diets being promoted. Just looking at a few examples this morning in the newsagents, lose 7 pounds in 7 days was one of them, the festive flab fighter. And that kind of rapid weight loss isn't sustainable. We actually know that diets generally don't work. People who go on diets tend to end up weighing more than if they hadn't gone on the diet at all. So it's definitely better to make small lifestyle changes like cycling to work or getting off the bus a stop early and increasing the amount that you walk, and indeed making sure that you're eating a lot of fruit and vegetables. But that's not always what's being promised in these kind of miracle diets in the pages of magazines.
And you say instead magazines should be celebrating body diversity and all of us in all our shapes and sizes, but our shapes are mostly pretty unhealthy, aren't they? 60% of adults in this country overweight, 25% of them obese. Celebrating that would be quite unhealthy. It's a good idea to encourage people to cut down a bit, surely.
Well, you don't tend to tackle the obesity problems that we have in this country by making people feel bad about themselves and going on fad diets. Actually, promoting body confidence can help people to have the confidence to go and exercise, for example. We know that some of the things that hold people back are worrying about what they will look like when they're exercising, and so actually a positive body image and positive body confidence is helpful to those kind of behaviours. So I just think, yes, we do have an obesity problem in this country, but we don't want to put people off exercising, and making people feel bad hasn't really been working as the way to try and solve that. So I think we should be celebrating that people do come in different shapes and sizes, and indeed, as I say, ages and skin colours. Far too often the imagery we're presented with is just sort of one size fits all, and people would welcome more diversity.
You seem to be saying that government advice about eating fruit and vegetables, taking exercise, is more reliable than that which you see in some of these magazines. Why then did the coalition cut in half the funding for Change for Life and the advertising spend that was promoting this kind of healthy message?
Well, you know, we're in a very difficult set of economic circumstances, and so government advertising has been one of the areas where the government has reduced the money that is being spent. I think people will recognise that some very difficult choices are being made. At the same time, a lot of the things which need to be done for a healthy lifestyle are things that people are aware of, and it's about trying to make those changes to your lifestyle so that it becomes second nature and get into healthy habits rather than unhealthy ones.
But as the government cuts the money it spends on promoting its healthy eating message, it makes us more reliant on what we read in the newspapers and the magazines, which you're saying don't give us the right information.
Well, I'm certainly encourage them to make sure that they do put the right information out there, and that they do it in a way that encourages people to take up healthy habits and indeed to have positive body confidence. Obviously, as I say, difficult choices are being made in these difficult economic times. There's not really easy candidates for making cuts, and you know, I certainly didn't come into politics to make cuts, but that is unfortunately necessary because of the legacy of debt that the country has built up. But I think there's a lot that magazines and the media can actually do in a positive way. And indeed, the government does have a role to play too. So, for example, I know many parents are worried about the body image issues that their children or teenagers perhaps are struggling with. And just earlier this year, the government launched a parent pack, resources that can be downloaded for free from mediasmart.org.uk, which can give parents the confidence to talk about these issues with their children, and hopefully help them to improve their body image.
If magazine editors completely ignore your plea and continue to print diets that promise miracle amounts of weight loss, what will you do to them then?
Well, I don't think that will necessarily happen. So a few years ago, I started campaigning on issues around advertising and body image and body confidence, and again the same concern was raised. What will you do if they don't respond? And we actually have started to see advertisers respond with more diversity of models. If you look, for example, at the latest Marks and Spencer's campaign, or indeed Boots number 7, that have said that they won't use airbrushing to show what their cosmetic products are doing, and the advertising industry taking this a lot more seriously now. So I think that public opinion has shifted on this, and that will ultimately mean that the magazine editors will have to do the same, but I'm encouraging them to do so a bit more quickly.
It's not going to sell many copies of magazines, is it? Small, tiny, incremental weight loss by taking small lifestyle changes? That's not what they're going to put on their front covers.
Well, it would be much better advice. It certainly would be sustainable and make people feel healthier and happier. And ultimately, I think that's what people would like, is to be healthy, happy and confident. And so I think magazines ought to the extent that they're helping people in their lives, ought to be able to be printing that kind of advice and encouragement, so that people can get on with those lifestyle changes that will work for them.